On Wednesday, President Biden signed an executive order related to America's supply chains and national security. I will read to you the executive order as follows. Executive Order on America's Supply Chains. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as follows. Section 1. Policy. The United States needs resilient, diverse, and secure supply chains to ensure our economic prosperity and national security. Pandemics and other biological threats, cyber attacks, climate shocks, and extreme weather events, terrorist attacks, geopolitical and economic competition, and other conditions can reduce critical manufacturing capacity and the availability and integrity of critical goods, products, and services. Resilient American supply chains will revitalize and rebuild domestic manufacturing capacity, maintain America's competitive edge in research and development, and create well-paying jobs. They will also support small businesses, promote prosperity, advance the fight against climate change, and encourage economic growth in communities of color and economically distressed areas. More resilient supply chains are secure and diverse, facilitating greater domestic production, a range of supply, built-in redundancies, adequate stockpiles, safe and secure digital networks, and a world-class American manufacturing base and workforce. Moreover, close cooperation on resilient supply chains with allies and partners who share our values will foster collective economic and national security and strengthen the capacity to respond to international disasters and emergencies. Therefore, it is the policy of my administration to strengthen the resilience of America's supply chains. Section 2. Coordination. The Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs, APNSA, and the Assistant to the President for Economic Policy, APEP, shall coordinate the executive branch actions necessary to implement this order through the interagency process identified in National Security Memorandum 2 of February 4, 2021, renewing the National Security Council system. In implementing this order, the heads of agencies should, as appropriate, consult outside stakeholders such as those in industry, academia, non-governmental organizations, communities, labor unions, and state, local, and tribal governments, in order to fulfill the policy identified in Section 1 of this order. Section 3. 100-Day Supply Chain Review. A. To advance the policy described in Section 1 of this order, the APNSA and the APEP, in coordination with the heads of appropriate agencies as defined in Section 6A of this order, shall complete a review of supply chain risks as outlined in subsection B of this section within 100 days of the date of this order. B. Within 100 days of the date of this order, the specified heads of agencies shall submit the following reports to the President through the APNSA and the APEP. 1. The Secretary of Commerce, in consultation with the heads of appropriate agencies, shall submit a report identifying risks in the semiconductor manufacturing and advanced packaging supply chains and policy recommendations to address these risks. The report shall include the items described in Section 4C of this order. 2. The Secretary of Energy, in consultation with the heads of appropriate agencies, shall submit a report identifying risks in the supply chain for high-capacity batteries, including electric vehicle batteries, and policy recommendations to address these risks. The report shall include the items described in Section 4C of this order. 3. The Secretary of Defense, as the National Defense Stockpile Manager, in consultation with the heads of appropriate agencies, shall submit a report identifying risks in the supply chain for critical minerals and other identified strategic materials, including rare earth elements, as determined by the Secretary of Defense, and policy recommendations to address these risks. The report shall also describe and update work done pursuant to Executive Order 13953 of September 30th, 2020, addressing the threat to the domestic supply chain from reliance on critical minerals from foreign adversaries and supporting the domestic mining and processing industries. The report shall include the items described in Section 4C of this order. 4. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, in consultation with the heads of appropriate agencies, shall submit a report identifying risks in the supply chain for pharmaceuticals and active pharmaceutical ingredients and policy recommendations to address these risks. The report shall complement the ongoing work to secure the supply chains of critical items needed to combat the COVID-19 pandemic, including personal protective equipment, conducted pursuant to Executive Order 14001 of January 21, 2021, a sustainable public health supply chain. The report shall include the items described in Section 4C of this order. C. The AP-NSA and the AP-EP shall review the reports required under subsection B of this section and shall submit the reports to the President in an unclassified form, but may include a classified annex. D. The AP-NSA and the AP-EP shall include a cover memorandum to the set of reports submitted pursuant to this section, summarizing the report's findings and making any additional overall recommendations for addressing the risks to America's supply chains, including the supply chains for the products identified in subsection B of this section. There are further sections to this executive order, however, they go beyond the scope of this video. If you would like to read the rest of the executive order, you can do so, as the link is in the description below.